Welcome, everyone, to our regular meeting of the Board of Education. Would you please rise for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. First item would be approval of our agenda. A motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. All in favor? Okay. All right, then we have approval for our minutes for November 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All approved? Okay. Thank you. Communications. Okay, first will be a presentation by Mr. Justin Marler with our Unitech Student of the Month.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me. Is Dustin Earhart here? I haven't seen him come in. Is he in the parking lot? Okay. Would you like me to wait, or we want me to go ahead and?
Okay. Okay.
Is that okay?
We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Perfect. Perfect. Can I leave this here? Okay. All right.
Okay, ready? Okay, we've got a real treat tonight. We're going to have a special group here, Student Voices from the Truman Learning Center, and Ms. Kim Johnson.
All right, so this is just a few of our students. We were invited to sing at Mineral Area College for their Cardinal Christmas celebration, and we took 19 students over, and they just brought so much joy that we said, oh my goodness, I think we'll need to take them to the board meeting as well. This is Lindsay Jinkerson, and she teaches some of our music classes here at Truman, these children specifically, and we're going to introduce each child.
Emery,
What's your last name?
Brotherton, Sawyer, Parisi, Ada, Nora, Nicholson, Reed, Mo, Leo, Ann, Lorelai Mosier, Josephine Armstrong, Harrison Wickman, Eli Christopher Reyes, Caleb Carr, Ledger Harris, Kason Kernan, Piper McLean.
All right, boys and girls, thank you so much. We're going to come around and we're going to shift it.
Way back. Good to see you guys again today. You remember me from earlier? It's good to see you. Good job. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I saw that today. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. What a pretty dress. Pretty outfit. Merry Christmas. It's me again. Merry Christmas. It's me again, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, students. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay.
Do you want them to keep going, or do you want to do Unitech?
Unitech now. He's here. Okay. Mr. Marler, you'll come back up.
Hello again. Apologize for that. My name's Justin Marler. I'm from Unitech Career Center. Thank you all for having us, by the way. If I could call Dustin Earhart up here, please. So Dustin, we'd like to recognize Dustin as our October Student of the Month. Dustin's currently enrolled in our electrical technology class, taught by Mr. Bruce Pratt. Mr. Pratt had a few great things to say about Dustin. He said that Dustin is an outstanding student in class, does a great job. He's a class leader. Will do great in this profession, and unless your plans have changed, he said you plan on becoming a lineman, correct? Okay. I know personally that our electrical class has been extremely busy this semester. We've been finishing up a residential housing project in Bonne Terre, so they've been working on that. And at the same time, they've been working on our annex building. We're building a new building, and they've been doing the wiring in that. So they've been really busy. We're very proud of Dustin, and look forward to seeing what he can do in the future. So, there you go. Sure. I'm not Mr. Collins. No. No one else is, believe me. If you know him, no one else is. Okay. Where do you want me to go? Where should we go?
Usually right here. Is this good right here?
Pull the flag up, please. Squat down, I wish. Thank you again.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Thank you. Okay. Next will be Miss Johnson and Miss Vandiver with our Heartland Hero and our featured teacher.
Good evening. It's such a privilege to be here this evening. Anytime we get to be together and talk positively about our staff that we have in our building, it's always a pleasure. This is Casey Grieshopper, and Casey began her career at Truman Learning Center as a long-term sub in 2018 and 2019 in a preschool classroom. She jumped right in, ran the classroom like a veteran. She planned and prepared lessons, hosted parent-teacher conferences, collaborated with staff, and kept the communication open with parents. I knew after seeing her in action that I wanted her on our staff. Anytime you get to see them in action before you recommend them for hire, it's always a win. So I wanted to hire Casey as a full-time teacher, and so in 2019, Farmington School District offered her a teaching position, and she accepted, and she has been teaching preschool ever since. Casey quickly became a leader in our preschool hallway as the very next year, she was selected to be on our professional growth committee teacher leader group. And with that, within just 1 year, she was leading professional development in our building. She has been a vital role in writing curriculum for our preschool. She's wise beyond her years and such an asset to our preschool program. When asked why Casey should be selected Teacher of the Year, her peers and students all said different things, and I would like to read just a few. One of her peers said, "Casey has quickly become one of my closest friends since I became a para in preschool. She constantly supports me and has helped me grow into a confident soon-to-be, and now she is currently a teacher for the Farmington School District. I am extremely grateful to have her as a friend and colleague." Another teacher said, "As a new teacher in the district, Casey has welcomed me with open arms and quickly become a mentor and a friend." Another para says, "Casey deserves this high honor of being chosen Teacher of the Year. She is a shining example of a great teacher and coworker." Another para says, "Working alongside Casey this year has been a wonderful experience. Her love for her students and passion for teaching is truly inspiring." So here are some of the students, and they always make me laugh. "Miss G is so good at teaching us." That's what one student said. Another student says, "I love Miss G because she's my favorite teacher." Another student says, "Miss G is always happy and she loves everybody." And then another student says, "Miss G is great at teaching and she helps us." So ladies and gentlemen, please help me honor TLC's Teacher of the Year 2023, Casey Grieshopper.
All right, so I'm going to introduce our Heartland Hero. Our Heartland Hero is actually not here tonight. Her grandson was going to surprise her and bring her, and he got flu B at the very last second. So she had no idea. So we're going to have to call and congratulate her tomorrow, too. But our Heartland Hero for 2023 is Robin Short. Robin Short is a Truman Learning Center's Heartland Hero because not only because she has subbed for us for a very, very long time, but she volunteers for us beyond that. She worked right alongside our office staff at the beginning of the year to ensure that we were ready for the first day of school. We all remember what Infinite Campus was like and trying to get everything done, and she would stay till 8 and 9 and even 10 o'clock trying to make sure that happened on her own time. So she was there. In the meantime, she was also preparing for a kindergarten open house, and she was trying to prepare for that teacher that was out to make sure those kindergartners had the same kind of experience even though their teacher wasn't there. Robin, which also donated a bunch of special education equipment that for the preschool program, and it was very, very expensive from what we understand, but they were very, very appreciative of that, and we will be appreciating her and recognizing her. So Robin Short.
Crystal.
And next will be our recognition of our athletic and activities program. Mr. Chad Mills, our athletic director.
Hi, everybody. During the November board meeting, we recognized 4 of our fall sports teams, and this evening we'll recognize the other 4. We had some tremendous accomplishments on the field, and we'll look forward to hearing from our coaches, and we'll start this party out with Mr. Coach Rocky Sandlin. Come on up and talk about boys swimming. Coach, when you get up here, have your team come up and get up on the stage here so everybody can see them.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Actually, my team is either at work or at practice. So we started out with 9 guys this year. We had a really strong season. We were 4 and 6 in dual meets. To our big conference meet, which is, we don't have districts in swim. We go from our conference meet to state. I took 6 to our conference meet, and each of those 6 individuals placed and were all conference. I had my senior, Gavin Eaton. He was all conference in the 50 meter and the 100 meter. Sophomore Will Adams, he was all conference in the 100 meter and the 100 meter breaststroke. Keegan Welsh, he was all conference in the 200 individual medley and the 100 butterfly. Freshman Elias Van Zee, he was all conference in the 100 meter butterfly and the 100 meter breaststroke. John Klinghart, he was honorable mention all conference in the 100 meter. And Titan Thomas, he was all conference in the 200 meter and the 500 meter. One of the things that I guess it's hard to bring out in swim is the times from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Our athletes improved tremendously. We have several that have set their goal on breaking the school record next year. I know Titan Thomas wants to take it in the 500, which is a very grueling race, but he's already started swimming in the mornings, so he's getting ready for it. And our freshman, Elias Van Zee, he's looking for the 100-meter fly record, which is going to be tough, but he may do it. And Will Adams, who's going to be a junior next year, he thinks the 50 and the 100 is going to be his next year. We'll see. They've all started working out already, and along with other practices that they have or work. So I'd really like to thank, though, the board for the opportunity that we've had. We have a lot of fun, and the kids, I can't say enough about them. But thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Get to it.
What's that? Oh, oops.
Things a little close. Can you pull it back?
Next up will be our district champion boys soccer team.
Is that going to have feedback if I put my phone here? Okay. Go in the middle so they can get good angles in their pictures. All right. So, Adi is at a family event this evening, and also I think he might have a little bit of stage fright, but I did ask him for his words so that I could speak on his behalf. I won't have his really awesome accent, but I'll do my best. So he wants to say thank you to the board and Mr. Gibbs for all of your leadership. It's really appreciated. Thank you to all of our parents and the community and your support. We have been blessed with some wonderful boys in our program this past season, and with that came a plethora of community members and families who stepped up and have spent countless hours giving to our program, and they have left it better than they found it. So we are so thankful for everybody who have pitched in to love on our team. So this season, our boys had a very successful season. We are so proud of our team and this program. So they finished the season 13-7. We went a pretty long stretch there at the beginning of the season without having ever been scored on or losing a game. They did a phenomenal job. We finished our season the Class 3 district champions and made it to the state quarterfinals, which with the redistricting that happened a few years ago, that's a challenging feat. So these boys worked really hard. They set their sights on this at the beginning of the season, and they made it happen. And they played a phenomenal team in the state quarterfinals, and we didn't have the results we wanted, but we grew a lot as a program. So we had a couple boys who earned some postseason awards, and we've got some boys up here in front of you who are part of the program. Thank you for being here tonight, boys. I wish we had some more of you up here, but again, just like the swim coach stated, we've got a lot who are working, a lot who are in winter sports, and they're hard to get places, these teenagers. So our boys who we would like to recognize, who were recognized postseason, Logan Keepy, he was all-district, all-region, and all-state honorable mention. Dustin Randazzo was all-district, all-region, and second-team all-state. Asher Reek was all-district, all-region, and first-team all-state. Logan Shopper was all-district and all-region. Trent Rector, who is here tonight. Trent, you want to give him a wave? He was all-district, and he was actually a member who was on the regional dream team, which is awesome. Landon Beach, all-district. Nick McAllister, all-conference. Brody Wilson, all-conference. And Reed Parson was all-conference. And I do want to say, even though he's not here tonight, Adi was selected as the fall 2023 boys soccer dream team coach. And I think that's a real testament to the hours that he's poured into the game. Him and Doug do a phenomenal job of coaching the boys, and I'm really lucky to learn from them as a coach. So thank you again. Thank you, boys. If you'd give these boys a round of applause.
Coach Krupe and a football team.
Thank you very much for having us. 2023 was our program's second year ever as a Class 5 football program, the other year coming in 2020. Despite the bump in class, our kids were able to earn a position in the Class 5 District 1 district championship game, where they faced a very solid Cape team. So they were a district finalist in only the second year playing that type of a playoff schedule. It was also the 9th consecutive season in which our program has earned at least one playoff victory. and we had more student athletes earn academic all-state recognition this year than in recent memory. We had 13 student athletes earn postseason recognition, and we'll introduce them now, and I'm just going to go down alphabetically. Luke Berkner, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and academic all-state. Damian Cabrera, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and third-team all-state. Brett Dry, all-conference, all-district, and all-region. Scott Fripp, academic all-state. Gabe Giuliani, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and academic all-state. Hunter Hastings, academic all-state. Bryce Cathcart, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and third-team all-state. Kason McLean, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and academic all-state. Mason Probst, all-conference, and all-region. Connor Rice, all-district, and academic all-state. Tatum Tinsley, all-conference, all-district, all-region, and academic all-state. Sam Woodson, all-conference, all-district, and academic all-state. And Ian Zoner, all-conference, all-district, and all-region. Thank you very much. Guys, go ahead.
The final team that we'll be recognizing this evening will be our cross-country team. Coach Stone.
Give my crew a second here to get up here. So we've got 9 out of the 10, so that's pretty good. First, obviously, as always, I want to thank the Board of Education, Mr. Mills, Dr. Gibbs, for all the support for all of our athletic programs. We had a good season this year for cross country. We had 10 athletes who earned postseason honors. This year, from a team standpoint, we were able to win MAAA conference championships on the boys and girls side. It's the 6th consecutive year that we've won the conference championship on both sides. So that's a streak that we want to keep going, and I'm real proud of these kids for getting that done. I will start with our boys. First, I want to recognize Nikolai Kane. Nikolai is a junior, earned MAAA all-conference honors this year. AJ Wiles. AJ is a freshman who earned MAAA all-conference this year. Caden Kimbrough is here tonight. Caden is a senior who earned MAAA all-conference honors for a second time this year. Mason Currington is not here with us tonight, but I do want to mention him. Mason this year became the first boy in Farmington cross-country history to earn MAAA all-conference honors all 4 years of high school. So that's a notable accomplishment for sure. And then Evan Fuller is down there at the end, I believe. Evan this year won his second consecutive MAAA individual championship. He was all-district for the third time. He earned all-state honors, finishing 4th at the state championships. He was our team MVP with Evan. The honors kind of just have kept coming since the season ended. He was selected to the Mineral Area Coaches Choice Team. He was selected to the KREI KTJJ Dream Team for the second time. This year, he set a new school record for the 5K of 15:27. and undoubtedly firmly established himself as the finest boys cross-country runner in the history of our program, dating back to 1961. So it was a very, very notable year for Evan. His fourth place finish at state is the second highest finish we've ever had at the state championships for boys or girls. Want to talk about our girls now. First, we have Alondra Martinez. Alondra is a sophomore who was MAAA All-Conference. Natalie Gammon, who is a sophomore, was MAAA All-Conference. Hannah Mathis was a freshman who was MAAA All-Conference. Cayman McIntyre came in as a sophomore. She was MAAA All-Conference for the second year in a row. And then lastly, I want to mention Madeline Shipley. Madeline was a freshman this year. She was the MAAA Individual Conference Champion as a freshman. Very impressive. She was all-district and was our lone girls representative at the state championships this year. She was our team MVP. She was selected to the Mineral Area Coaches Choice Team, and by a very large margin, she had the best freshman season in school history. Overall, these kids did a tremendous job. I would love to mention Academic All-State. I was just talking with Coach Krupe the other day about the way the different sports do Academic All-State, and every sport does it differently, and cross-country, we won't know until January who is qualified and who hasn't. So that'll come later. But we had a great season, and I appreciate all the support. Merry Christmas.
Really impressive. I need to watch it all. Fun to watch.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Mommy, I know that guy. I think pointing to Dr. Gibbs.
Oh, I gave him candy canes.
Yeah, yeah.
I followed the Grinch around. He was actually there. Yeah, it was very ironic.
I don't believe I've ever heard any of them ever say that to us about a superintendent
We'll give a couple of minutes here. Josh is here.
Yeah, if they all want to move over, we can see it better.
Okay, our next presentation, Josh, you want to come on up? Josh Hain will make a brief presentation on a FMX work order system.
Good evening. Keep this pretty quick as we go through this. Gary Davis and I have been looking basically since my inception here this summer. Gary and I have talked, and he has moaned and groaned and griped since I've come in about the current system that we have. He really liked the system that we had before, but unfortunately, due to some technical issues with hosting within our own server, Corey stole that from him, and Corey's real happy to say he stole that from him. So anyways, we started using the Frontline system. There, we use the Frontline for a lot of different things in our front office. So at that point in time, we just kind of migrated into that. With that being said, it doesn't give us much flexibility. So and I'll show you an example here in a little bit just on this slide. But ultimately, the work order system that we use now basically sends an email and tells us that somebody has a need. We open that email, and that email basically says leaking faucet or HVAC problem or light won't turn on. So there's not a whole lot of information that we get. We don't really know building until we get in there. And then we pass that along. And once we pass that along, then our technicians don't have a lot of detail in there either. The rooms are not labeled very well, and so there's just a lot of missing information. So with that, for the last 5 or 6 weeks, Gary and I have been digging into and looking at a lot of different things. We looked at 4 different programs over the last 5, 6 weeks, and have come to FMX. We're going to transition into the world of FMX with the work order systems. As we look through with what FMX gives us, it's designed for K-12 and schools. There's a lot of different pieces to it. It is a piece of software that will allow us to grow into it. It allows us to do a lot of other things along with the work order pieces. Most importantly, it's going to allow us to give the freedom to our maintenance guys and to configure things to where it gives the teachers a little bit more say in what's going on, because they are the eyes and the ears in the building of what is and isn't working. So there are some built-in pieces that will be in that, and there will be a work order flow where it takes a little bit off of the plate of the administrators in the building as well, because work orders will now wind up going through this building level custodians. So they will get the information first. They'll be able to troubleshoot, and if they can't fix it, it will go to Gary or myself, and then we can assign it based on skill set within our maintenance department, as opposed to it just being a blanket email we send one of our technicians that we have. The administrator won't have to touch it, but they'll be able to see everything the entire way, and then everything will be documented to the teacher or the staff member that requested the work order, so the communication lines stay open. That way, at any point in time, if there's a part that's on order, if there is a delay for shipping, if there's a delay because of whatever, that notation is made and shared with the classroom teacher or the person that put that in, so we can continue to have those conversations and everybody is updated. And again, admin doesn't have to touch that piece of it. It is something that continues to work through the program itself. One of the other pieces, which will be preventative maintenance, is the other piece, or another piece of it. We'll be able to design and set up things, whether it's fire safety checks, whether that is HVAC checks, whether that is filter cleaning. We can design, and there's a bunch of these things that are already designed for us, and our custodians and our maintenance guys will be able to go through building by building, and it will have a checklist on them. Excuse me, I can't talk. It'll have a checklist there for them. That way they can go through, mark those things off, and if there's an issue, they can fail the work order, or they can fail the preventative maintenance and create a work order directly from the preventative maintenance check, so it goes directly to our maintenance guys so that we don't have any delay. Another big piece of it is the capital forecasting. One of the things that we will be able to do going forward is, and we're going to dedicate one of our new maintenance guys to be able to go through and tag all of our assets. So anything from HVAC to boilers, chillers, refrigeration, anything that we have that we consider an electrical asset or a facilities asset, we can tag. And then we can look at those things, and by tagging, we'll be looking at the historical data on it. So we'll be putting in the manufacturing number, the manufacturing year, when we bought that piece of equipment, who we used to service that equipment, and that stuff will be all in-house within this system. The biggest piece of that will be what year we bought it and how long we've had it. And so that part of that will be, we'll be able to look long range and be able to tell whether or not that we're 10 years in or 15 years in or 20 years into a piece of HVAC and start looking and planning to replace those ahead of the time, so we're not costing ourselves more money in the long run. So that's a piece of the capital planning piece. The interactive mapping, we have quite a bit of turnover, obviously, like everybody else does. So this piece will also be in there so that our custodial or maintenance staff can find things quickly. It will be detailed to the point where, location-wise, where everything is, whether it is an electrical panel, whether it is an HVAC unit, whether that is a boiler or chiller or whatever those assets may be, it's located on the map, and we can find those things a little bit faster. The other piece of it is when we send out a work order and it says that the room we're going to is in C3, if you have somebody that's not super familiar with the building, you have the map that tells you where that room is as well. A few other things, and one of the reasons that we decided to go with FMX was some of the flexibility that they have and some of the future programs that we possibly could add on. Bus maintenance request is one of those, but within this current system that we have, we can track assets, and they can be anything. An asset can be a bus, an asset can be a school car. So we can put those things as assets, create work orders, create work history, and we can create the history of what that bus has done and how much capital we've spent on a bus or on a school vehicle, and start looking to make future plans on whether or not we need to update or delete one of those things as well. But also in here, there's a lot of different things, and I'm not going to read them all, but a couple of things that pop out are the food service request piece of it, a facility request piece of it, and then keys and badge tracking, which are things that are desperately needed within the systems that we currently have. Another piece of it that's not on here that is included in it is the tracking of all of our supplies. So all of the trash bags, all of our paper towels, all of our toilet paper, all those toiletries as we get in, we can inventory all of those. There's an inventory piece, so when it comes off the truck and it goes to one of the buildings, we can know that 5 boxes went there. We had 6. We now know that we have, that many boxes, and we can reorder from those pieces. So just a huge inventory piece to kind of keep track of. We can put our vendors in there as well, and we can automatically reorder based on what our needs are at the time, and also keep track of who's using what and how much we're using to help, again, plan for the future of what those building needs look like. Customer support for FMX was as good as anyone we found. It will take us roughly about 60 days to complete the installation of FMX, but that will involve myself and that company going through a lot of different things. And the best part about this company was they're very easy to work with. And as far as configuring things, we can configure it exactly to Farmington School District and how we want it configured for the workflow to work. None of the other companies had the flexibility that FMX does to be able to set it up the way we would like to pursue this. Next slide is actually a picture of our current work order. And in this piece, there's not a whole lot of information that we get there. As you can see, if you were trying to figure out as a maintenance guy what exactly you're looking for, what information you need, those things don't exist. With the FMX system, there are built-in prerequisites that have to be filled out that give the technician a lot more information, and those things are going to be drop-down menu boxes so that staff, most of them will be, but staff, they don't have to come up and regurgitate things that they probably aren't familiar with. Those things will be set in there. The first key would be, is it electrical? Is it plumbing? Is it HVAC? Those things, and that will kick that to specific technicians within our work order or within our custodian and maintenance departments. And it will cancel out some of the people that don't have those skills. So we don't have to worry about them receiving those pieces, and we set who we want those pieces to go to. So we're really excited about getting this going. Again, this will be about a 60-day process to get that piece started. We will have to do the asset management piece and the data collection, and that will take us a while. But once we get that up and running, I think this will help us cut costs in the future and make us more productive in the near term. Any questions?
Josh, on your maintenance people, will they have a computer with them that tells them?
So there's an app that they can use on their phone. I think we're going to probably troubleshoot, and I think a couple of the guys have expressed want or need for probably an iPad or something of that measure. So we're going to work that piece of it out. And a Chromebook that is, has a really durable case on it would probably be something that we'd look at as well. But yes, that will be a piece where the technician can have that. And the biggest piece that I think we miss with all of this that we currently have is we just don't have all the information that we need when we go in to look at an HVAC unit. And some of that is because, people are here, people are gone. We've had so much changeover, and we've had some really good people that have worked here, but most of the stuff is in their head and they're not here anymore. So with that being said, we need that history and those pieces so that the more data we can put in there, the more history we have and better decisions we can make.
What's the acquisition cost of this software or this program?
So it's going to cost us roughly about $4,000 through the end of the fiscal year, and then it'll roughly be about $8,500 for subscription yearly on that point.
Annually, so that would include then maintaining the updates to the software, I guess, is all provided?
Yep. And it is significantly lower than the company that we felt was probably second best, where they were asking roughly between $20,000 and $25,000 a year in renewal purposes. There were a couple other companies that were between that $7,000 and $9,000 range, but did not offer anything outside of just a true work order system. And the more you get into that, obviously, the more those things cost. But the two front runners, as far as just product themselves, it's kind of a no-brainer price-wise between the two of them.
So they host it in the cloud, then it's not hosted on our server or anything?
Correct. Yep.
And so when, I guess, a job is complete, the report goes to you and Gary, and that way you guys have it and all that?
And it also goes to the person that made the request. It also goes to the building admin. Again, they don't have to touch it, but they also have that line of communication of knowing what's going on in their building without having to get involved. And our current process now is that the staff member has an issue with something, they take the work order to building admin, and then building admin has to submit the work order, which is tedious and time consuming on their end as well. So.
Yeah, I can see save time.
Yep.
Anyone else have anything?
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Next will be our superintendent update, Dr. Gibbs.
All right. I'm going to start out at the top there. We had a productive meeting with PRC last week. Angie and Dolores and Mindy was there as well. Just a lot of great things going on around the district that can be highlighted there. FCCLA did an outstanding job with the retired staff luncheon. Some of you were there, just able to see how much that is a great thing for our community and how much the retired staff appreciate that and enjoy being recognized. So a great event, and I appreciated our high school students representing so well. And then 5 students did receive all-state recognition, and our clarinet player, I don't have her name off the top of my head, but she was first chair in the entire state, so that was a kind of a first-time recognition that took place. And then a lot of fundraising at the high school with Seasons of Hope, and then one of our seminar and freshman class sponsors, freshman class teachers and junior seminar sponsor, Lindsay Alvey's class raised over $3,000, so way to go there. That's special recognition for all the hard work. But across the district, a lot of work went on to close the gap for Seasons of Hope. Character Council raised over $2,000 at the middle school. Lincoln collected over 4,000 cans for the CTA Cares program, and they've had over $1,000 donated to Special Olympics already. Jefferson is working towards CTA Cares. Kids would line up every morning for candy cane sales, so that was very motivational over there. They've also worked on Seasons of Hope, so with a change drive, I believe. Washington Franklin had the Character Council putting on a hallway letter delivery competition of some sorts that raised over $1,600. Roosevelt fed families through their can drive with 22 families at Thanksgiving and 13 again here at Christmas. Daisy Baker is our, they pack all the bags that go out to students through the CTA Cares Closet. They've also been sponsoring some residents at the Cedar Hertz, so a lot of great things this time of year, and our students giving back and being part of service, so just really wanted to highlight that. And then discussion at that meeting was, of course, as we anticipated, the holiday payment and that decision being made at that late meeting in November. So the letter was sent out and got some response on that. We talked through it at PRC and the options moving forward, and that hopefully in early spring with the way I've been looking at the budget, we can possibly issue that salary addendum that I talked about with some of the staff and the leadership team, and do something in the spring, and then continue with long-range planning for stipends, career ladder, and continuing to make our pay as competitive. I did present to them the challenge that we face with our 275 operating levy. It's at the state minimum, so that makes it very challenging for us sometimes to work within that budget with the robust programs we offer across this district, and then trying to stay competitive with area schools that don't always have those as many program options as we have here. So we need to be conscientious of that number and see if we can work on that in the future. And part of that process is understanding the next point on my report was the demographic study is nearing completion. We should be getting those results soon, and Mindy and I will be looking through that information and chunking that out as we share that out with you all, the administration team, the staff, and the community, and how to plan with that information. And as part of the bond issue and the potential building phase, I've been looking at the current buildings we have and how those might be configured. We'll be meeting as a superintendent leadership team to talk through that, and then rolling some different ideas out to our admin team and from there. And then I've also had a meeting with city officials to talk about the street network and how that will be impacted as we consider a new building location over behind the Fox Glen subdivision. Our annual performance report was released to the school level about a week ago and will be coming out to the public soon. It's about the same as last year, a little bit down, 78% this year, and we're looking at that growth score as an area where we're not getting the points we'd like to, and so how can we work through that challenge? And then attendance is posted there. We are still running a very high enrollment. Now we're over 4,000 students. We climbed some more, 4,018, and we've had a lot of sickness going around, colds, flu bug, all of that. So hopefully we got it over early this year, and our attendance dipped a little bit, and our ADA, it's up from last year, thankfully. But it's not where we would like it to be, and so that will impact a discussion point further down. And then if you can go to the next page, thanks, Corey. We had a successful wellness committee meeting recently where we revisited the goals that team's been working on for the past couple years, and committed to those, as well as picking up some other areas of emphasis with our One Community project. And nutrition was mentioned that night. We're still focused on substance abuse awareness and supporting mental health across staff and students. And then the elementary focus is really on that reading bill that was passed, and part of that is the reading success plans. So Mrs. Turner's been instrumental in training all of our staff that will be responsible for that, and then those plans will be rolling out in the new semester and implemented. a lot of hard work going on there. Moving down to the financial and budget update, the audit's complete and ready for submission, so that was a lot of hard work. Valley's part, meeting with our auditors and getting all the information in and collecting information from Erin through federal programs, Erin Kreitz, and her work to gather that together, so I appreciate all the hard work that went into that process. I mentioned this previously, but we now have our comprehensive budget tool that I've been able to work in and get some ideas moving forward of what that's going to look like. It's helping me look more clearly at where we are now and where we are in the future. And then, as I mentioned, average daily attendance will reset after this year. We're on the pandemic waiver, and what that means is our weighted ADA is going all the way back to pre-pandemic times, and that's being a much higher rating than where we would be now because of all the attendance issues during the pandemic, but next year that will go away. So thankfully our enrollment has gone up, and we have worked very intentionally on attendance. We haven't quite gotten our free and reduced lunch count back to those pre-pandemic numbers, and even to where it was last year. So we're trying to chip away at getting that up. So all of those numbers factor in, and we are looking for a decline in that weighted ADA number next year, even though we've had the bump back up in enrollment, and that's mainly due to attendance not getting back to those numbers and free and reduced lunch counts. So I will just continue to work on attendance and free and reduced lunch count right now, and then continue to be really proactive with that going into next year. In Chad's department, we had a great highlight of our fall sports, but winter sports are off to a positive start. First boys home game tonight, I think, that we are here at the board meeting in place of, but hopefully we can catch maybe the tail end of it. And then in Mindy's department for communications and public relations, Black Knight Spotlight videos have been a real highlight. Had a great time with the Lincoln students and Mrs. Mosier and Mr. Tracy doing the interview, so look forward to that one coming out. Our new website and mobile app is under development. We've really never had a mobile app, so we're excited that we'll be able to launch that once we launch the new website. And the Prentland newsletter will go out in January to recap first semester, and then again in June to recap second semester. I want to give a shout out to John Kraus for all his work on getting the safety meeting together for all our outside agencies. We had several represented, and it was just a good presentation of all that we're doing here at school, and then it really started a conversation about how they can support us. Technology, the tech team's making progress on their network access server, and then we have the order in place for the 60 additional cameras we'll add for security across the district as part of the security grant. Big undertaking in operations to launch all the new bus cards that will be going out soon, so that we can hopefully improve the scanning in and accountability on our buses come the second half of the year. And then I already mentioned the free and reduced lunch count. And I believe that's it. Any questions for me?
The number one band student is Elizabeth Yeager.
Yes, all right, thank you. Anything else?
Very informative. Thank you, Dr. Gibbs. Appreciate that. Okay, next is our consensual agenda. If you see the items there, there's any discussion, I would ask for a motion for approval of our consensual agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
I'll have to abstain because I was paid for a trip.
Okay. All right. Okay. The motion passed. Okay. I just want to say before we adjourn, I think Dr. Gibbs, I want to commend you for all your work these last, I know you've been on duty here for just a very short period, but you've done an exceptional job. You've got to deal with a lot of issues here, probably unexpectedly, and I just think you've just done a tremendous job. I just want to congratulate you on that, and thank you for all your effort.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
A great team
Anything else?
behind me.
If not, ask for a motion for adjournment to a closed session.
Make a motion to adjourn the closed session to discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, 13, and 14.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Bowkey.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Hahn.
Yes.
Howard. Yes. Lawson.
Yes.
Noble.
Yes. Okay, we're adjourned to closed session. Thank you for attending, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
It was a very quiet crowd after the kindergartners.
Yeah.